Standing your ground as a poker dealer is one of the most important aspects of a very, very good poker dealer. In this week's episodes of Mr. Poker Dealer Guy, I'm going to give you an example of why. We had an incident today where I dealt to this guy who pulled one of the biggest. In poker, they call it an angle. It's when you're trying to get an advantage of somebody that's unethical. It's not really not really like against the rules, but it's things that are like it's really unethical, and they try to pull moves to try to induce a response. And it was a disaster. The guy was complaining. He was like yelling and screaming. Basically what happened was the guy raised, but he set all in, and the other guy insta called, but the guy said all in, he said now you can say all in. Now when you're dealing poker, when somebody says all in, especially in no limit, it's binding. When you say all in, it's binding. And I heard all in, and the guy who said it said he didn't say all in. He said, I was gonna say now I can go all in, but I'll hear it all in. And it was just a mess. The floor had to come over. He would not pay him, and the whole ordeal lasted about 5 minutes before our floor pulled the guy off and ended up paying the money. It was pretty bad. The guy who said all in claimed he said now he can go all in. It was a total angle, and as a poker dealer, you have to be like impartial, but in the back of my head, I am a poker player at heart, and when you see that, that is an angle. That is a total angle, and as a player, I'd be very, very upset. The other player was pretty upset about it because he heard all that as well, and he wanted the call, and then it was just crazy. But the reason why I'm telling you this story is when you make a decision as a poker dealer, and you have to stick to it. You know, sometimes these players try to bully the dealers into manipulating them into going on their side, even if they're wrong. But you have to stand your ground. You have to go with the rules and stand your ground. And he said all in, so that's binding. So he had to go all in, and of course he lost the hand, and it was a disaster. I did my job. The guy was upset, of course, but you know, when you try to pull an angle in poker, I don't have sympathy for you. I really, really don't. So, you know, and truth be told, the game of poker, you see a lot of it. I mean, it's one of the shady parts of the game that they don't really tell you on television. But people try to pull moves all the time to try to induce a reaction, even if it's unethical. And it looks bad for the game, because poker is a wonderful game in and of itself. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. But sometimes you get stuff like this, and you just it makes it look bad. It makes it look really, really bad. But I'm glad I stood my ground and made sure the ruling was right. It was the right ruling our floor made. Anyways, with that being said, all that happened, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy. And then, of course, the next table I dealt to, this guy was like getting mad at me because he was losing, and of course he was playing terrible. So of course he had to blame somebody, so he blamed me. And so that hour of dealing wasn't very good. It just wasn't my best like hour as a poker dealer. But what can you do? What can you do?